right, we're back. Woo. Today we're going to be talking about some of the more important things to protect when you're out on the hill. Your eyes. With the goggle technology out there, there's so many things to learn about with the goggles. For me, I think it's way more important than thinking about the shape or the size of the goggle. It's more about the lens. Most of these have a different lens darkness or brightness. If we want to get really technical here, we can talk a little bit about what we would call visual light transmission. So basically all that relates to is how much of these light rays or UV rays is the goggle actually letting come through into your eyes. You can break them down into percentages a little bit. I mean, a darker lens is gonna allow less percentage of light to actually come into your face. A lighter one is gonna probably let more of that light actually come through. The lenses do interchange. That way you're not having to carry around two sets of goggles. So the beauty of these is they just stick together quite nicely there, rather than a lot of companies have these little tabs, and it's quite a tough system to try to get the lens into the goggle. If you are gonna keep your spare lens in your pocket, just make sure they're protected. Most of these goggles have a nice little lens case. You can put the lens in there. The other tip with the lenses here is as you're changing them, especially maybe if it's after lunch and you've just ate a bunch of French fries and you got some real greasy fingers, I'm changing a lens. I might use this as just like a little bit of a protective mitt here. You do happen to get a fingerprint or two on here, it's not really a big deal. I always recommend cleaning it with the bag here gently. Fog is probably one of the worst nightmares where people, especially when it gets in between the lenses, maybe a little extra protection will help you out. So with a premium goggle like this one here, it actually has 3 layers of AntiFog rather than just a single. And then also the AntiFog material, it has the ability to actually absorb the water rather than just trying to stop the water. So another thing that prevents the moisture from getting trapped in there is all the goggles just have some form of ventilation here. So at the top, you can see this strip of foam here. That allows any moisture to kind of come up through. From the inside, you can see that there's actually just a couple windows with that foam that allows that moisture to get out of there. It's not stuck in there forever. Speaking of foam, again, all the goggles here kind of have 3 different layers of foam. You can see that sandwich here. These 3 layers, basically what they do is some of the layers give it the form. As the layers get closer to your face, that's where the comfort comes in. So the softer layers are actually against the skin. They can kind of seal against your face and not rub too much. The other things that start to happen with a lot of the, especially in the higher end goggles, is what we would call like color optimization. One of the ways that especially a higher end goggle will do that is they'll remove some of the blue light that comes off the sun, reflects off the ground, some of that really glary, kind of abrasive light that's coming into your face there. And it just allows you to see everything nice and clear because you're not getting that glare kind of blurring everything for you. The other thing that results in a super techie lens like that is you get this super HD kind of vision going on. The other thing that helps that is just this highly refined polish on the lens here. It just really reduces that light refraction, and it actually allows your eye to focus a little bit more. It's actually aimed, your retina can focus clearly on what you need to see rather than having all that distracting light coming around. The other thing that starts to happen when you're wearing goggles out on the hill, maybe you start exploring a little bit of the mountain, riding in the trees. I know this happens to me quite often, is goggles can get a scratch on the lens. Usually when there's a scratch on the lens, it's there forever. All the goggles that Outdoor Master provides have scratch resistant lenses. Most of the time you can just kind of buff it out with the goggle bag. It won't be in there permanently. This Ultra goggle has what we would call a shatterproof lens. So it can take quite big impacts and it's not gonna crack or explode. It's a pretty common one. People wear glasses. Outdoor Master has a feature called OTG technology. It just means that the goggles are compatible with most standard eyewear glasses, prescriptive lenses. Goggles, probably one of the more important parts of your kit, making sure your eyes are protected, but you can also see where you're going on the hill. So I always say snowboarding's hard enough when you can see where you're going, but imagine trying it when you can't even see where you're going. So do yourself a favor, invest in something that's gonna allow you not just to see clearly, but sometimes you can even see better than your eye would. hit the link, subscribe, do what you gotta do if you wanna know more about this stuff. As we progress here with our next episode, we're gonna be talking about the next phase of protecting your head, which is not just your eyes, but helmets. The goggles and helmets can work quite nicely together, or what you might find is they won't. So we're gonna go over some of that stuff as well.